What's going on, everyone? And in this video, I'm going to go over some switching fundamentals with you. So the reason I'm making this video is kind of to bridge that gap before we start jumping into VLAN configuration and trunks. So we just learned about switching fundamentals, layer 2 principles, about Ethernet. And now I want to show you in an actual lab environment what that MAC address looks like, what that broadcast MAC address looks like, and just go over some of the switching fundamentals we just learned. So this lab, it's not necessarily a lab I want you to go build on your own and do yourself. You totally can, but this one's kind of just more of a follow along, kind of get back into the CLI a little bit, get our hands a little fresh, right? Just so you can see the CLI before we just jump right into VLANs. Because as we get further on the technologies that are very configuration heavy, we kind of slow down on the lecture. Now we still get all the information we need, but like technologies like VLAN, Ether channel, sometimes it's pretty cut and dry for what you need to know for the CCNA, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So you see right here that I have my EVNG lab topology. And what we're going to do here, and for you guys following our paid course, let me just show you here, close out this lab. You're going to get all these CCNA labs, okay? So for you guys on the YouTube or the free course, you don't get these labs given to you, right? I don't have a free repository for it. However, these are, they can be created. They're nothing too complex. And if you watch my EVNG videos, I show you how to create labs and how to get real Cisco images into EVNG. So let's jump in to here. Open up our lab again. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this video so that I can get my face out of there, because that's not what this video is about. And we'll just focus on the lab. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing we're going to do here in our EVNG environment is we're going to click More Actions and Start All Nodes. And again, just to kind of recap the things I want to go over, I want to go over looking at the MAC address table. I want to go over the broadcast MAC address and just kind of get used to the CLI of that switch, okay? So the way we're going to kind of create that broadcast MAC address is we're going to attempt to ping one of our neighbors here from PC4 to PC5, and we're going to perform a Wireshark capture here. And what we're going to see actually, guys, is something called a ARP request. Because we're doing ping, which is layer 3, we need to do that layer 3 to 2 mapping called ARP. But this is just a way to demonstrate what that broadcast MAC address looks like. Remember all those Fs? And to kind of show you that the MAC address table is going to be empty. And then once we get these computers communicating, which hint, I don't think they're going to be able to ping back and forth. We may just want to ping our brother over here in the same subnet. I'm going to show you how that MAC address table populates. I'm going to show you in that Wireshark capture here what that broadcast MAC address looks like. But again, that's going to be in a ARP message, but it's still the same concept, okay? So this should be just a quick little demonstration and kind of also just to get our feet wet with EVNG, okay? So I'm going to clear this screen and let's jump right into it. So we started all of our nodes. I'm going to click here to open up Secure CRT. Let me get these old sessions out of here. I was doing some warm up before I started the video. I'm going to open up Secure CRT. We're going to open up for PC4. You guys are going to notice that in this lab, there's already some configuration. You can see that these PCs have already been configured with IP addresses, and we have their MAC addresses showing there. Again, for you guys in our free course, you're going to have to recreate this yourself, but for you guys in our paid course, this lab is available for you from our Google Drive if you have EVNG installed. Awesome. So the first thing we're going to do here is go on switch 2. And the first thing we're going to check, guys, is our MAC address table. So from privilege mode, we're going to type in, and let me bring this to the center, zoom in a little bit so we can really see those commands. We're going to type in show MAC address table. Again, if you're not watching these videos in chronological order, our EVE-NG how-to videos went over how to get secure CRT working in EVE-NG and how to use the native console. Okay, so we see our command here, show MAC address table. And we can see that we only know one MAC address, and that's going, it looks like it's going to be our neighbor switch over here, switch 1, because it's on Ethernet 03. So now we're going to jump into PC4. And before I do that, I'm going to start a Wireshark capture. So I'm going to right-click my switch 2, hit capture, ETH00. I'm going to open up Wireshark. You're going to see an SSH connection. I'm just going to minimize this for now. Make sure we zoom in on that as well. And then bring back our CLI. And from PC4, if we look at our diagram, I'm going to attempt to ping PC1. And I believe our ping is going to be successful. But before we check out that Wireshark capture, let's go ahead and check the MAC address table after we send some traffic from PC4 up to that switch 2. So what's essentially going to happen here, guys, before I send that ping, is this computer is going to generate a layer 3 message called, well, really a layer 4 ICMP control message protocol. And we're going to do our encapsulation method. So there's going to be layer 3 and a layer 2 header. So in that layer 2 header, we're actually going to get that destination and that source MAC address, and that destination MAC address is going to be all Fs. And before we send the actual ICMP traffic, we're going to perform a address resolution protocol request. We're going to dive deep into this later. It's really not important for our section now because we're just focused on the layer 2, right? So then this source is also going to be this PC's MAC address, okay? So let's go ahead and execute that ping. And then we're going to see switch 2 also now place this MAC address on port 00. Because remember, a switch's MAC address table is generated from ingress traffic from source MAC addresses, okay? So once we generate some traffic, we're going to go to switch 2. And let's run that command again. So I'm going to bring this back to center. So I just hit up arrow to go back to the command we just did. And then boom, there we have it. Now we have that MAC address assigned to this port in our MAC address table, also known as our CAM table as well, content addressable memory. And we can see that it's done its job. It's done exactly what we said it was going to do. So now we have seen fully how it generates that MAC address table. Now if we go back to our Wireshark capture, let's go ahead and check out what this frame looks like. So again, we're just checking on the frame, so I'm not going to worry about this layer 3 information here. And if you can see, I typed in here to the source, and it has the last 6 of that MAC address, 666806. That is the last 6 right here as well. So that is our PC4 that generated that ping message. And if we look into this Ethernet header here, we see that destination is the broadcast. And then we see the source is our own MAC address. Okay, awesome. So this is really all I wanted to show you guys. Just some simple switching fundamentals and showing you on the actual wire, showing you in a true lab environment. So I want to thank you all for viewing, and stay tuned as we go over VLANs and jump into our lab scenarios. Thank you.